How's it going? We just got back from Trail Hero. It was an awesome time. We got Robert here from Mickey Thompson. Some talk of the town is 42s. Everyone out there, we had a lot of people on 42s. Let's go ahead and jump into Trail Hero.
Back at Trail Hero, it's one of my favorite events of the year. Love this place. Hurricane and Sand Hollow has just kind of a little bit of everything that I love to do, that blend of rock and sand.
We ended up hauling out one of the Mickey Thompson Gladiators and picked up Danielle's new build.
I liked my pink. We set my Jeep to Bill-A-Dare, B&R Performance in Missouri, and he put in the 6080 axles from East Coast Gear Supply. We are running the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss 42-inch tires with the Dirty Life 20-inch wheels.
You got this thing in yet?
There you go, sir. Sorry.
You know what? It's not the first time I've been asked that question.
Wow.
And it stings every time I get asked it. But that being said, well, we're about an hour and a half into the installation of our net here. You know, so we feel as though it's going pretty smoothly. Done.
Nice work.
That's a wrap.
Risky Business is not a trail that I am familiar with. I hadn't been on it before, but it was a lot of fun. I did learn early in the day that I had been up at like 15 PSI the day before, so I aired down to around 8 or 9, and the Gladiator started to hook up.
You've never seen anything kind of like that. The highest you've really ever seen out of like Moab is like Pritchett or something like that, maybe a little bit of area BFE. But at Sand Hollow, like it can go from 0 to 100 real quick. So I went in there and tried to play on it for a minute and realized I wasn't going anywhere really fast.
I definitely thought that I was not going to be able to make it up that, and I'm just going to take this bypass over here and play it safe. But yeah, it was kind of surprising, you know, because you think that thing's so built, so much articulation in that. Even with our new 44s on there, like you thought it would be no problem. But yeah, no, there was definitely some challenges out there, and that was pretty impressive, that line.
And the first obstacle, Nick's got, you know, the rock bug on it, and it's not having it, you know? And I'm like, this is an 8? And then thankfully I found out that was just like a bonus line before we actually got into Risky Business.
Actually, the first time I drove my Jeep was here, and that was, I did not know how it felt, what it was gonna feel like. That was all very new to me, so going up any obstacle here was nerve-wracking.
And we didn't ease you in either.
No.
Like the trails.
Oh my goodness.
What's the easiest trail we've run is like an 8? Everything was cruising, and the first kind of main obstacle that we got to kind of had a little bit of like a step to the right side and kind of double tiered a little bit, and then to the left you can kind of slide by the first step, but then there's like a bigger wall on the left and kind of had a notch, and I was like, oh, I'll take the big side, you know. That obstacle was bigger than I thought. When I got up onto it, my tires were short of hooking the top ledge of that. I gave it definitely several tries, was not getting making any progress on it, so I went and backed off and then kind of took the bail out, if you will. Gary's coming up. Gary likes to like come in behind me because he likes to watch the lines that I take, because he's on the same, he's on a very similar build. He's an LJ, he's stretched. And I was like, man, I didn't make it, so I've got nothing for you.
And so I watched Scott go up it, so I thought I had the line on it, but I got up there and put tires on it, and with my wheelbase, the front end was just getting way too light with some of the dig out on the bottom of it, so I wound up backing down off of it and kind of just taking the right, going up around on that obstacle. So.
I put tires on it. I tried it. I was straight up in the air. I did not like that at all. I trusted Scott and Nick, which they said I was planted, and I did feel comfortable. I just did not like how I was sitting. But then I started smoking and had to back out of it.
It was definitely
For the
catered to the long
wheelbase.
wheelbase, for sure. So I was excited to see like somebody make it up, and what did it look like, and how hard was it going to be for you? Because my car was not happy.
Did I do it?
Pretty sure
Yeah,
it popped up.
yeah, you got up it.
Now this walked it, I was pretty lucky, just kind of pointed the tires towards it. Tires work well, not just saying that. But you got on it, and we put you on it.
It's fun to tell you. It's fun working with you.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed life. Like, I'm loving it.
Let's go all the way, Robert.
And now I wanted to get him on something that he wasn't like okay with, because, and you tried to bypass it. Like
I
he was
did.
like, shoot, and I was like, nope, back to the line, get back down there.
That
was
was
just
kind of
hanging.
sketchy, man. Like, I have to say, that was really sketchy. Yeah, that initial climb was kind of, you know, you have to just get comfortable and trust who's spotting you to be able to get you up that thing.
Which I'm a trustworthy guy.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. But
You'll see more of that later.
Yes. So but yeah, once you got the vehicle up, I got a lot more comfortable once I was almost on top of that obstacle. But seeing that Gladiator make it up to where I was at was really impressive. Like, I mean, obviously it's built, 1-ton axles, 42-inch tires, like moto bed bed on there to be able to make sure I could have the clearance to
You
even
still
lift up.
scratched it, but yeah.
You can't see me?
Yeah, I still hit it, but it's all part of the game. But it was kind of surprising that it could make it up there, and it was a lot of fun. And it really, at the beginning of the week, I mean, that's our first trail, and you know, huge confidence boost right there up front. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to do something more extreme than what I really wanted to do was take the chicken route over here. Now, that was my first time ever being winched.
Yeah, Danielle was in her new rig, and you know, I was very impressed by the obstacles she did. It's like she showed no fear, and she tried everything, and she did very well, very well.
And just have to mention that rig just came out of the shop. This was the actual shakedown run on that rig, and to put it on Risky Business to run it in, and the rig performed pretty much flawless.
coming in to Trail Hero this year, I'm on a 42, the new Boss 42. Really excited about that tire. I've been on the Baja Boss XS 43 for years now. Loving that tire. It's been a great rock crawling tire. So I was definitely interested to see how this Boss 42 was going to react compared to the XS 43. The traction, even of being a brand new tire, you usually got to break them in a little bit. Definitely the grip is there, but then it's going to just be like getting into, we got a lot of V notches, things like that here, and it's like, how do you span these V notches and things like that on a narrower tire than the XS? So starting to figure all that stuff out, but they're doing a good job.
So I was really excited to bring my Jeep out to the West Coast first, only because we've mostly wheeled East Coast for the Great American Crawl, and that is mostly throttled to get up. There's a lot of mud, wet, everything. It's very slick over there. Over here, I know that the rocks are grippy, and I can usually crawl up something and get a better feel for what I'm doing.
This was a good area to bring her to. You can, a little bit more slow, technical, feel your rig, get the articulation out. I think this is one of the best areas she can get a feel for it.
West Coast is scary to see these huge drops. I don't like them at all. I still, again, trust who I'm watching, and that's all you can do is trust who is in front of you and know that your rig is doing what it should do.
And then I think towards the end of that is when we started getting into like the crazier stuff with like the off-camber stuff. But watching your tires be put through all of this with side load, you know what I mean? True traction on the top, right? But really getting in there and just beating on these tires, so to say, and probably different ways than you ever thought you'd see tires really beat on, and using the entire tire for traction. Like, great job on the side biters, because we use them.
You use the whole tire, which is crazy. So every piece of tread you could possibly use, that tire is being flexed out, you're using every bit of it, and it's impressive. You know, it's impressive because some of those vehicles are almost 7,000 pounds, and it's just pulling up the rock, like no problem at all.
You're starting out in a V-notch, but it immediately makes you make a hard left into the continuation of the V-notch. You're probably three-wheeling. You're trusting that the rear end of the Jeep might slide over and line you up, but if it doesn't line you up, you're gonna be in a tricky spot.
Rock Buggy, I actually don't like to follow him because what he's doing is just so different that, like, I just have to strike it from my mind as to how he approached it. Because of the rear steer, because of the wheelbase, because of the size of the tires, it is just a completely different animal. That being said, this obstacle that we were coming up to, and kind of last like major obstacle of this trail, turns out to be like a 2-staged obstacle that looked like a lot of fun. I was really excited to do, and I felt as though the first part was going to be the hardest part and the second part would be the easier one. First obstacle, kind of go up the opening. I went a little wide to give myself the turn so I can do it in one move and end up in the notch. And all of that went perfectly to plan. Crawled right up and out of it, and I was like, I've got this. Second part, no problem. Like, I'm gonna hero this thing. And drop down, get into the next notch. Everything's climbing up, feels good. Starting to like kind of roll into it. Everything's feeling really good until it's not feeling good. And before I know it, like, I am into this thing, I am on the side, and it's like not going.
Cattywampus.
Yeah, everything's gone kitty hawkus on me. Push it! Because of this place, because of the nature of the West Coast, because of the traction that's there, you really can like push your vehicle to the absolute limit. If you have the seat time, this is a great place to get the seat time and really figure out where that tipping point is in your car. You bitch! Push me back over, and I was hell-bent on getting up this obstacle because it wasn't going to beat me, because this is the easy part. The hard part was back there, you know. And, I was fighting with that for a while.
Hold on, hold right there and get a winch.
I might need it.
No. I'm trying.
I was trying to drive out of it and recover the vehicle myself.
You did a few times.
And it would it would recover, but not to a point where I could like reset. And it was time to grab some winches. I don't even know who like winched me the first time.
You had Nick the first time.
Because all I could see was just sky and rock, and then your face is laughing at me. And that was about it. That was all I was aware of.
Yeah. Okay. Oil pressure's like rolling, and it's not knocking or.
Yeah.
Line in. Going in. Oh, it's stopping. Lost recovery.
But I wasn't done. I felt as though that was driver error on that first attempt, so I went back around for round 2.
There you go. Andy says to me, Andy goes, that looks pretty tight. I shouldn't go in there. Here I go.
I got in there, and the problem is like Scott was saying, you know, when you get in there, you've got that climb, which the climb wasn't bad at all. I mean, that wasn't anything. But then you've got to do this hard, like 90 or 100 degree hook to the left to go around and go up. And he kept telling me to do that. He goes, just go passenger and keep coming up. And it felt as shitty as could possibly feel. yeah, it felt like not a good time. And then he finally goes, okay, now come driver. Now, as soon as I came driver, ta-da, it was marvelous. and then, you know, I shot up to the top.
We had been told the day before, I believe, about that V-notch and how you can get very off camber and tip into it. And so I was just really anxious to see. And he tried. He doesn't give up. And he was practically on his side in that notch.
You know, I get up there and then I come walking back and, you know, my buddy Scott's coming up and then he stayed up too late the night before. He goes, nap time.
I was a bit more stable and I was rocking the car a lot more, and I got, I think, all 4 tires smoking. Trying to go up this thing, because I was definitely in a cloud of smoke going with this thing, and I was good with that too, because I'm heating the tires up. Hey, that might be just what I need.
But then the only thing damaged out of that was a scotch mirror. That scotch mirror saved the windshield frame and everything else.
Yep. Can't recover it. Same thing, grab the bar, push it. Be fine. Yeah.
Gotta push it. 1, 2, 3, go.
You know, yeah, we're trying to, but the problem with trying to push him over is everything on his rig is like lava.
You were pushing on the shock towers.
Yeah, I was pushing. No, I was pushing on the headers, I think.
I knew I was done. I was like, I'm gonna have to get winched out of this again. I did not get this thing, and like, it's got my number. Like, I'm putting up the white flag, and it beat me this year. Yes. But that does not mean I am not going back, and I am going to get that obstacle. That's what keeps you going, actually. It keeps me going, is to be able to go back and get that.
Thank you!
So the first day at Trail Hero, I was still really nervous, but all in all, it was a great day.
Watching her improve over the day, I mean, it's enjoyment for me. I mean, me not having my rig here doesn't even matter. Watching her improve and grow and get confidence, that's fun.
Starting real tough up front like that, it definitely helped me say, hey, I know this vehicle will get through that obstacle. It's not that bad. It's just gonna be a little tight, you know, but we're gonna make this happen. And that was really cool to be able to have that. That was one of the best off-road trips I've had in a long time.
Day one for me was humbling. I got denied on both of the main obstacles on the trail, and so I'm going to be going into day 2, making some changes and see where we go from there.